Hey folks, welcome back to Let's Play Final Fantasy XIII. I am the mysterious JG. Just wanted to take a second to show you my recent, because I noticed it and it just kind of made me chuckle. The trophy I seem to have gotten for Secret of Sonata. What's your problem here? Secret of Sonata, Saved Soul, gave Saikyo Rakafuji many conch shells. Very rare, 12.6%. I would argue that it's very rare because not that many people can be bothered to keep playing that game long enough to do that. But anyway, that's not what we're playing today. We're playing Final Fantasy VIII, and I'm picking up directly from where I left off last time, despite having stepped away from the game for a couple hours to eat and enjoy other people's Let's Plays. While not even power grinding, just actually watching their stuff. Go figure. But it is time. It's time for that network of mine, Nickelodeon. I'm having a paranoia attack about whether I'm recording. And I am. There's, broadly speaking, two things we could do next. We could go to, Balam to deal with something I noticed we missed. Or we could advance the plot. The next chunk of plot doesn't seem to involve S-tons of combat. So, sorry for that. If the lack of action-adventure stuff has been off-putting, maybe it was a good idea for me to go deal with Odin now, after all. Because after all that, all of those videos of just like purely dialogue and thematic / character-y type stuff at the Shumi village. Can we get... It almost looks like you could get up there, but the coloration... No, never mind. Once you get there, you realize there's a steep cliff. The camera and the ship are not aligned in the same direction, which is making this funny. I need to get across this land. So I basically jumped off of here in the totally wrong direction. You know what? Honestly, it's probably faster if I just load. Because I'm realizing now I raced off in exactly the wrong direction. But, no, we got to get to Trabia next. And though it is... There's nothing wrong with having chunks of plot that are, not combat intensive. Certainly, I was just talking about Spirit of Sanity. God, that game arguably doesn't get the balance right at all. No, never mind. I did go in the right direction. I just need to find an efficient way to get past this big chunk of mess. And unless there is a bit of beach over here we can hop up on, and there doesn't seem to be. I probably just need to go this way. Alright, never mind. Off to a really inefficient start here. What else is new? Oh, well. Here's something that lets you skip a tiny, tiny portion of this. Who cares? But yeah, Trabia is broad. It's in the same general area that the Shumi village is. Just Shumi village is actually considered to be in Trabia. Oh, and they're probably playing by Trabia rules because they're in that general region. So that might be why they didn't seem to have any funky card rules going, because I used the Trabia exchange student at Galbadia Garden to knock out the most egregious and goofy... Oh, look, there's some PS1 era artifacting and weirdness with perfectly square chunks of discolored water. It's nice that the HD remaster retained that, and I'm not even being sarcastic. Sometimes the little graphical goofs and weirdness of the previous game, I don't always want to see that stuff fixed, in re-releases. Anyway. This has been fairly faithful. There's a handful of exploits that no longer work, but by and large, it seems like they try to keep that stuff because the fans who know about it want it, and the fans who don't know about it, it doesn't matter. Okay, how do I get back out? Thank you. Okay, so we're just generally kind of heading in this direction. Don't know if it would be better to go north or south of this mountain, but it looks like we need to go south of it. Kind of come back around this way. Keep your arms straight. Jiggle it a bit. Look kind of mystical. Mr. Science Suitor reference. Soul Taker. probably didn't quote it exactly right, but I got the gist of it. Well, that's the gist of it. Final Fantasy X-2 reference. I'm incapable of creating my own my own thoughts about anything, apparently. Where exactly is this place again? Okay, we actually went past it. It may be on the other side of that mountain that I just decided I needed to go south of. Or it was right here and I just kind of missed it. Yeah, here we go. Ultra mild spoiler that I think I've already done a couple of times. There is going to be another airship before this game is all said and done, and I don't remember it being necessarily easier to steer, but just the fact that it's so much faster means that if it takes you a minute to reorient yourself, you don't feel quite as much like you've wasted a ton of time. I'm assuming nothing of interest is going to pop up between here and the base, so we'll just shut off encounters. And now, yes, because we have Selphie, suddenly we are able to do something. It's not even vaguely like she's trying to look over. A direct hit? Yep. Terrible. Okay, JG, time to load and play this with every conceivable character. I'm kidding, although it is a little tempting to play with Irvine to see just how much he pervs on Selphie during all this. You know what? Let's just do that. Okay, let's just do that from jump. Let's just go straight. As soon as it gives me control back, I'm going straight to just switching to Irvine, because otherwise, Renoa is just going to give us generic banter. That's nothing terribly wrong with it. And various characters will have different levels of being, like, supportive to her, probably. But if anybody is going to say anything that's kind of interesting, it's going to be... I'll even do Junction Exchange, just in case we run into some combat I didn't foresee. Yeah, if anybody says anything that's outside of just generic, like, oh, this is bad, oh, Selphie, this must be so hard for you, it's going to be Irvine. And it's going to be Irvine creeping. And what could be better in an LP than lots and lots and lots of creepy misogyny? I hate to see her suffer, but I love to watch her butt. A direct hit? He just shrugs. This has got to be bad. I mean, unless you're one of those girls who likes to fuck when she's sad. Sorry. Not a child-friendly LP at this point. But yeah, poor Selphie. Not really. Her dialogue and basic demeanor is not written for character depth, but generally, the 2 points in the game where they try to give her some are the Missile Basin here. It's all downhill from here. She's never going to be more than just one more character in the group who's floating along with a story. Although she's still ahead of frickin' Irvine. She's probably still ahead of Irvine, Kaitis, and Zell. In terms of actually having bits of story that are hers and not Squall's and Renoa's. But, yeah. I'm going in. Want us to give you an army of 2-stall boost? Be careful. We'll just wait out here, I guess. Yeah, we could have done that. Except that we can't. I don't think... I'm almost positive nothing happens if you interact with this and Selphie's not in your party. But now we have a music track I do remember all these years later as being one that was kind of nice. Squall. Well, it might not be him. Squall. I thought Selphie was with you. Yes, we're all here to provide various levels of support. Switching to Irvine, it didn't waste much time, but the time was utterly wasted. Aren't we missing someone? Yeah, the sorceress. We're supposed to be finding and defeating her. Selphie. I'll let her go on ahead. All right, Renoa, how quickly are you going to criticize this decision? I wonder if there are any monsters around here. Implied criticism present. Come on, Squall, let's hurry after her. The only monster is your inability to leave her to her own device. And now having Irvine is preventing me from hearing its dialogue. To tell you the truth, I was shocked when I found out Balam was occupied. I think I understand how Selphie feels. I've forgiven her for that whole arguing with me about my bed deal. To think that Balam Garden might have ended up like this. Thank goodness we were able to avoid the missiles. Yes, by switching to him, I actually managed to avoid having him for dialogue. So this is where Selphie grew up. It sucks. I'm sure Selphie wanted to come by sooner. You know, before it was destroyed. Are you just going to leave her? No, I was hoping I could find a way for you to get dialogue without me having to load and play through all this. Okay, we'll see. If there's no, like, dialogue that you have by him being in your party, I will take it as just fate that the game, it's just messing with me. I decided he's the one guy whose dialogue would be worth seeing, and my efforts to see his dialogue directly prevented me from seeing his dialogue. Thundaga drop point. Selphie's friend. So you've been looking after Selphie? Not really. Just play along with it. Yeah, let's not be a total ass. Selphie's been a great help. For example, when I sent her to prevent this missile strike, and the missile strike still happened, great help. Aww. Yeah, it's the... I mean, I know it's a cheesy musical trick, but it's the sad version of the Balam Garden theme, right? Or is it the Balam Garden theme? I don't remember if you always hear the... I'm trying to remember where you hear the normal version of this theme. It pops up a lot. What's wrong? I mean, it's not like the sad piano version of the Bionic Commando theme from Bionic Commando 2000, which is just laughable. That's not like Squall at all. Okay, again, every time I try to make Squall act like a human being, people just act like he's being out of character. There's not... Whatever. That was a very Squall response. Whatever. Okay, unintentional. That was just fortuitous happenstance. I did not plan that. This would be like if my dryer alarm was going off at the exact right moments when I wanted it to. Can we try the other version? I'm so glad I saw Selphie. I feel a lot more cheerful after talking to her. Also, you survived the missile attack, so that's good. There should be a basketball court in the back. Wait for me there, okay? I'm gonna go catch up with some of my friends. You know, my real friends? Not like you assholes. So apparently on return visits to this place, we can play cards with her, and that's where you get Selphie's card. But for now, I don't think we can do anything with her, so let's keep moving. Before we leave, we vaguely need, and I believe you can revisit Trabia Garden all the way through most of the game. But there's an edition of everyone's favorite magazine, Tim Manny, and a Weapons Monthly magazine that we should try to find while we're doing this. Otherwise, it's mostly dialogue and filling in the story, and presumably trying to give us a visceral reason to hate the sorceress. I mean, in theory, it would be nice to take Cypher here and show him what his new boss is up to, because these are all fellow garden people. Young lad, what was your name and number again? Have you done a good deed for your academy, Trabia Garden? Good deed, you ask? It's to help rebuild this place. Let's see, for example, have you donated to the Trabia Fund? I'll give you an A. Let's play cards in honor of Trabia. I mean, it's in honor of Trabia. We have to do it. It would dishonor Trabia if I didn't take away this guy's cards. And a few of those cards are actually worth having. Yeah, it would be embarrassing to lose this. He really did not have cards that should make this challenging. Alright, so in honor of Trabia, I'm taking a bunch of your shit. It doesn't appear I have the ability to donate money to the Trabia Fund, so whatever. And I don't actually get to bring anyone else into the party anyway. Yeah, this is This is kind of depressing. Trebia Garden Cemetery. Well, let's just go back here. We found zombies. I don't know if that's appropriate, game. We found a zombie draw point in the cemetery. Okay, I thought for a minute he could draw a zombie. That would make sense, but like no, it wouldn't actually make sense. He's now got the main playable character magic set, which is why he has. I only got 63 triples? Oh man, I screwed up somewhere. Crap. Okay, well, I'm going to have to check and see if there's an easy way to get more triple. Like, I don't need that much more. He doesn't have room for more spells because he has Ultima, and I probably do need to think about putting Ultima on a mule until we've actually figured out what spell I want to take out of Squall's deck. Yeah, let's actually go ahead and... Oh, no, but I've got it junctioned. Slow, you don't use... I don't think I ever use Reflect, actually. It seems like it would be a really good thing to have for, like, Elemental, but apparently it doesn't do that much. Let's take a quick check. So I'll either have to redo the Odin fight off screen to grab a little bit more triple, or I'll see if there's some card mod, whatever thing I can do to get triple. But, yeah, I'm curious as to... Reflect might be pretty good for magic. No. It's not... I mean, Pain is great for magic, but there's other things that are just as good as Reflect that I'd be more likely to find some use for. If I were to do... Reflect doesn't even junction... Oh, that's, Yeah, what the hell? Reflect should do something there. Okay, instead, it gives you... Yeah, that's not really useful. I mean, in theory, if you have 4 status defense slots, which actually is going to be a thing shortly, then Reflect plus... If there's other stuff that gives you, like, this kind of broad coverage of different... Yeah, Reflect plus Asuna giving you 50% defense against everything. Might not be the worst thing ever. No, it wouldn't even give you 50. It would give you 45. Reflect is probably the simplest thing to get rid of at this point. I don't ever use the spell, but that's one that you just... When you need it, you need it. Break, we're going to need to have 100% defense against break against certain enemies. Marlboros. I guess not everybody needs Scan, but eventually everybody's going to have Ultima, so I like to have my primary party members have the same layout, just so I don't have to worry too much about specializing. Don't use water much. Demi used to be a great thing to junction to magic before we got Pain. And it's still not a bad choice if you want to put Pain on your, over here somewhere. Make yourself fully defended against 3 not crushing but still annoying status elements. 134. So what's the best thing other than Pain? Well, 140, that would be better. Actually, if I had 100 triple, that would probably be where I'd want to put it, right? Probably shouldn't be doing this on screen. Sorry, I mean, some people really like to see this detail, and some people do not. Yeah, I should be using triple. Which leaves me free to put Pain. Pain's a good one to actually inflict. So I need to get him some triple. Either, again, by just going back and redoing that off screen, or whatever we decide to do. And I guess Renoa? No, not Renoa. Selphie. Yeah, that gives her max magic. That's pretty damn good. So what would... Triple would be what? Time space, probably? Let's see. If we can't find triple, but we do find double, then we'll know that triple belongs here, but we just haven't figured it out yet. How to get it. Well, maybe it's not... No, that's double, so... We don't have anything that gives you triple. But if we did, this would be the correct magic type. Well, so between videos, I'll look up and see good ways to get triple. And if it's really going to be a pain in the butt to get any other way, I'll just load an older state, fight Odin again. Because we had time left on the clock. I don't know how I missed that Squall didn't have a full set yet. I thought he did. I guess I wasn't paying close enough attention. Like if I knew something created a triple stone or something and I had a bunch of them sitting around. I don't know what tool would refine into triple, but whatever it is, we don't have any of them in our inventory right now. Dark matter's not it. We need dark matter for something else. Yeah, alright, whatever. Gonna have to figure some of this out off screen, because that didn't go the way it was supposed to. But yeah, zombie. Kinda tacky game. Kinda tacky. Selphie, we've got good news. Irvine and I came up with a plan to bring your friends back. Oh, the man with the machine gun was here. And died. I remember the music here being really sad, and I also remember... I do remember thinking it seemed... it was kind of a confusing place to determine whether or not you were actually... had gone everywhere you're supposed to go. That we can't be done because she told us to meet her ahead at, like, the fountain or something. Well, no, this is the fountain. She told us to meet her ahead somewhere. I don't remember exactly where, but we haven't gotten there yet, so... The man from Trabia Garden. We carried the injured ones out in the car. Me? Nah, I'm not hurt. I'm just sick. I'm exhausted from tending to everyone. And you can't play cards. That Tonberry King... Take this GF summoning blaz. Blaz, blaz, blaz. She wants to play cards. You can tell because she went blaz, blaz, blaz. So I'm guessing she's supposed to have some form of PTSD where she's muttering about the Tonberry King. Which could be an incredibly vague hint that Tonberry King exists as a GF. Although that information in isolation doesn't really help you figure out how to get Tonberry King at all. But whatever. Yeah, I want all of your crappy cards, crazy person, or PTSD person. Makes me feel good about myself. To pick on somebody who's obviously traumatized by a missile attack that we failed to prevent. And indirectly kind of caused. Zell did anyway. We should bring Zell here to see how he feels about all this. Remember how we used to fight over the basketball court during lunch break? Yeah, I lost to that guy 3 days in a row. He's dead meat next time. Well, he's actually dead now as it happens. Oh, just like a dead cat in a yarn ball? Or what the hell's going on here? That ball rolled under there. That's the last ball. Oh no. Well, I mean, I can kind of get to it. Am I supposed to be able to get to it? I'm not finding any of these magazines yet, so clearly there's more to be done. Student VP. Gee, I wish the faculty was a little bit more reliable. Hey, your faculty, they ever, like, send monsters to kill you for defying Norg? No? Then you're doing alright. What do they expect the student body committee to do under these conditions? A challenge? Do I have a tier challenge? Oh boy, then I can't refuse. I don't know why I'm obsessively playing cards with all these guys, but it does... There's a weird part of me that's like, this is giving them a brief relief from the horror of their school being blowed up. That's why it's important that they go around and win all their cards. So they're forced to face the dangers because they no longer have any cards to play in their card game. Yeah, her cards suck. There's really no point in this at all. And the sad thing, even though Renoa is theoretically like the third most powerful card in the game, maybe fourth, it depends on where they slot Laguna, because they've clearly slotted Cypher above her, and Squall is probably got to be the best card in the game. I usually with her just wait until there's someplace safe to put her, because she has terrible numbers on 2 of her 4 sides. We have to remove this missile as soon as possible. There's no more threat of an explosion, but if it falls over, it could crush someone and then explode. And he doesn't play cards, which I'm actually kind of glad about. So she has the same school uniform as everyone else, but used too much bleach, apparently. Here's the basketball card with the story will continue. Basketball court with the story will continue. We're leaving as soon as Selphie comes back. We're on standby till then. Doesn't seem like the enemy has invaded this garden yet. Are they on their way? Maybe they figure they've already killed any sorceress candidates here. Where's the sorceress? We have to find her and dot. Alright, Irvine. I don't know what exciting shit you would have had to say in the entrance area. Maybe I'll find out if I have to redo this whole thing because I didn't get 100 triples from Odin. But let's see what you got to say now. I've got to do something to show that Selphie can depend on me. And my penis. Because JD's given up on this one being child-friendly. Or in any way mature. You play cards with me here, Kitus? Why the search for Alone? Alone, inviting Squall back to the past. Back to the past, Samurai Jack. Or watch out, whereas the sorceress searches for it. Could it be the sorceress is trying to make that journey into the past, too? That's actually a logical conclusion, and I kind of forgot that Kitus hints at that before the game tells us. I mean, spoiler, I guess, but nothing else makes sense. Yeah, Alone has this goofy-ass power related to the past, and the sorceress is desperate to find her. So, indeed, we will eventually find the sorceress's plan, which doesn't make a lick of sense, by the way. I've played this whole game over multiple times. It's a goofy-ass plan. But, yeah, Alone's power is critical to it. We never really understand why the sorceress wants to do what she wants to do. But what she wants to do is going to require the power of Alone. I walk alone inside my pit of anger. She should find a safer place than the pit of anger in which to walk alone. She likes to go for walks, and she likes to have somebody to chat with. But why the pit of anger, Batista? Come on. Why did the sorceress come into the picture all of a sudden? Was she actually waiting for this opportunity? Wonder if she was living a normal life before all this. Zell's mind went off in a weird direction. Not an invalid question, but possibly not pertinent. I'm actually not clear on whether Zell knows that the sorceress was apparently Headmaster Sid's ex-wife. Somebody in the comments, I expressed some confusion about whether she was always a sorceress, and somebody said, and I take them at their word, that he did during one of his various little speeches about Alone. I mean, Idea, he mentioned that that he knew she was a sorceress when he married her. Now, my recollection from playing the whole game about how the sorceress thing works is I didn't think she was. I think she had the potential to be a sorceress and hadn't manifested as a sorceress, but either way, I'm not at all clear on whether anyone else in the party knows what Squall knows, what little that is that he got from Sid, because we just don't have a lot of dialogue scenes with Squall explaining any of this to them. Maybe he told them after they forced him to go on a date with Renoa while they played an Irish jig. Ever since I met all of you, I've been doing some thinking. Well, I'm glad that we changed your life, Renoa. I can't stop thinking about it. Tomorrow, I mean. Yesterday's gone. Yesterday's gone. So deal with it Alone. I can't come up with an answer either. What? That's incredibly vague. I mean, it could be about Cypher. It could be about what she was trying to do in Timber. It could be the nature of sorceresses. The only thing we know for sure about sorceresses is that they have to be female. Alone appears to be a great candidate to be a sorceress because she's got like some kind of goofy past magic travel thing, which is also never explained if I recall correctly. But otherwise, it's just got to be a lady. So maybe Renoa's wondering if she'll be a sorceress, which would be a valid question for Kaitis and Selphie too.